Oh, went back to the jam. Old school. No, I do not own the copyright to this music, but I'm playing it anyway. Woo! Let's go! It's that time again for the best damn opening, woo, in Facebook and YouTube live history. You know it's true because it came out of my face. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, obviously, Fernando goes without saying. Looks like a winner, is a winner. Pedigree. Been imitated, never duplicated. Nah, that fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! Woo! The R8RBEAR! R8RBEAR! What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. But first, tradish! R8RBEAR Live. First comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to Roof. Roof. That's right. Tonight's gold medalist, YouTube Essay. Big dog. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Running the gold medal tonight. Hey, listen, and no, not like last time, okay? Not like last time. Don't just wander around in here in the VIP pissing on everything just because it don't smell like you. Knock that off. Second place, my silver medal goes to your reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world, Mark. That 5-emoji making son of a gun, Vargas. You know, Mark, you got to watch them dogs. The ones come out from the street, they'll get by you. You know, I'm just letting you know. He's not playing. You see how he's growling? You know, the foam right here, that's real. He's a wild one. Oh, family in the house. Third place, my bronze medal goes to James and Princetta Walker. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. It's good to see you tonight. Appreciate you stopping by. That's right. When you see me just snap it up there like that, you know what it's about to be about. Carlos! Boy, kids! Stop it, champ. Okay? The reigning, defending Facebook champion of the world, who, by the way, defended his belt, unlike that other guy on YouTube, Mr. Vargas. Mark, you get yourself in shape, okay? I say Big Dog's coming. I'm just telling you, it's a real thing. He's coming. Second place, my silver medal goes to my most recent head of security, who I signed to a lucrative contract. What is true? Joe Holdman! What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. And you got your wish. Now we got to talk about it. Third place, my bronze medal goes to. Hold on, I got to really concentrate on this one. Kevin and Honey. Kahu Hano. Notice how I held that one for you, brother? Because you know your family in the house too, and you notice how I held that? It's because I figure if I'm gonna say it completely wrong, I might as well do it loud. I keep trying though. I mean, you got to give me points for that. Oh, what's up? My good friend Jesse Parker, my fashion designer, is in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. That Raider Bear logo I sent you, bruh. Come on. I need it like in white. I need it in black. I need it in heather gray. Steven Shaw, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there, subscribing to a Raider Bear. Appreciate you. And he reminds me to remind you all of two things. If you would, please look right down there. Or is it right down there? I'm not sure. But hit subscribe, please, if you would, especially if you enjoy my show. Because you may not see me in your algorithm anymore if you don't like the show. So you got to like and subscribe if you can. Appreciate you. Facebook and YouTube. Eric Bell, what's up? It's my guy right there. How you doing, man? Joe said they must have more faith in Quiddy than I do. Well, the guy that we looked at, Kayvon Crawford, the only reason why I'm hesitant with him is because Joe, I know you know this. I'm just saying this for the sake of conversation. The defensive end we brought in measured out at 6'4", 255 pounds. Now, just talking football with everybody here, almost everybody knows. Literally, if you don't know this, that's not a problem. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It's just kind of a known thing if you've watched football for years. That football teams always say their players are bigger than they actually are, especially as they're going from college to the NFL. A guy in college weighs 377 pounds, and then when they get him up to the NFL, he suddenly weighs 322 pounds. You know what I mean? Still big, still good, but a little bit exaggerated on the numbers. Now, it's not quite that exaggerated. I'm just saying that to make my point, that he's being exaggerated up and yet weighs 255 at defensive end. I would say arguably 255 is small for a linebacker. You know what I mean? Now, it's not small nowadays because you need all your linebackers to be able to run because everyone's using tight ends. So I don't have a problem with it in that way. But defensive end, you know what I mean? I thought maybe that felt like a little bit of a reach. But I still like it because I like the guy. After reading up on him, I like the guy. Coach's kind of player, never minds. He never minds, like he never acts upset when coaches are trying to say, hey, don't do that like this, do it like this. Hey, let me do this, do it like this. Very, very coachable, very good kid. Shoulders as wide as an aisle in New York City, but alley in New York City. But the point I'm getting at is 255. That means he's probably actually closer to 245. 250 maybe 248, something like that. But it's not defensive end. Now I'm assuming he can get in and put on weight, and he'll have to, because if he stays at 255, by the time we get close to the end of the season, he is going to be 240, 245. And he's not going to be anywhere near as helpful for us. Everything is all good, my brother. Hi, Mrs. Shaw. Mark Vargas, I like our picks. That was the only one so far that I was kind of like, you know what I mean? I want to see what the brother can do. But it's not his motor. It's not the guy. It's his stature. He's not excessively tall. He's only about an inch taller than me, which, that's nothing. 6'3" against 6'4". I mean, the only thing, he walks around at 255. That's huge for 6'4", but you would have hoped he was 6'6", maybe 6'7", if they're going to go. And I don't know. It feels like a reach. It feels like a project. It feels like they see something in him and they're making a point instead of necessarily going for whoever was the best guy on the board there. I thought maybe they should have done that. A little bit more homework on that. What's up, Justin? Oh, just F1. Okay, Yo, hello back. Listen, bruh, I'm just going to call you Just because I don't know what all that other stuff means. But Just F1, I watch all that stuff. I love F1, and that show is incredible. Ever since first season, it's like second, third, fourth, fifth. Every one of them's good. Seeing all the backstabbing and all the drivers get jobs, lose jobs, go to another car, it's incredible. I absolutely love F1. And I can't get into NASCAR like that. You know what I mean? I tried. And so I never really touched on F1. But once I saw that show, oh, I was all on board. Troy Gill, what's up? Welcome to the show. Joe, no, yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying too. I like the guy. You know what I mean? If you read up on the guy's solid, coachable, good attitude. He'll walk right into the Raiders facility and just hustle. I like hearing that. It's old school. And another guy, that safety we picked up in the second round, I didn't even mind that they went ahead and went safety in the second round. When you hear this guy, Traden Stukes, I'm not sure. I haven't heard it pronounced yet. I'll have to wait on that one. But the 38th overall pick, honestly, that's, again, you could little bit say that that's a little bit of a reach. But then again, if you let him go beyond that pick, will he still be on the board when you know what I mean? Probably not. So I kind of like that they pulled the trigger there. It showed courage in the move. So far, I'm a Spy Tech guy. So I'll say that right into the camera. Right now, I'm a Spy Tech guy. I think that he's proven himself. I think that the rest of tomorrow's picks will give us a little bit more of an opinion of him. But thus far, he seems to hit more than he misses. For example, even if you have a guy come in and that guy doesn't pan out and he doesn't make your team, that doesn't necessarily mean they made a bad choice, because oftentimes that same player goes to a different team and makes the team. It's just sometimes maybe he didn't perform his best with us. Maybe he was ill. Maybe a family member died and he didn't tell anyone and he tried to play through it and he sucked, which we've seen, many times. Players enter into the NFL, it's their first season, and their cousin gets shot in the street, and then suddenly they want 3 weeks off from football coaching and showing up for everything because of a death in the family, and it's tough. That kind of stuff gets in your head. David Pelcliva, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I see you there. Darren Patterson, what's up, bro? Welcome to the show. You like what the Raiders did in the draft except Mendoza. Well, Troy, no, I don't have any problem with people saying that they wanted the other guy instead of Mendoza. I completely get that. The only reason I disagree with you is because if you remember what Tom Brady looked like when he went into the NFL, he looked like garbage. Physically, he had a doughboy body. He was overweight slightly. He couldn't run at all. You know what I mean? And yet goes out on the field, wins a ton of Super Bowls. You can't really judge everything by what you see on tape when they played in school. Because oftentimes when they play in school, there are other factors that affect how well they can play that won't be there when they come to the NFL level, or they might be worse. What you're really looking for when you draft someone is, can this guy, who's the highest rated at the pick I'm sat at, is he the guy that is really going to become something at the next level? Has he shown me the tools? Because there's going to be a quarterback in this draft that's like the 4th, 5th, or 6th, quarterback that gets picked down in who knows what round. And that guy is going to turn out to be really good. At least one. There's always one that you're like, wait a minute, that guy? Yeah. Because you can't base it all on what they do statistically in college. The things they do statistically in college, let's say they have a great season or they have a great career. Oftentimes their school and their school's athletic administrator set up the roster and set up the schedule to where they're playing games like Mount Saskatchewan in Iowa, and they're like a third-rate school that's just glad to be on TV, and they get blasted by Arkansas 67-7, or 67-9 because they kicked a few field goals. And so those numbers are inflated. And oftentimes you're not really seeing the real player as far as a quarterback, because He also has one or two probably of the best wide receivers in the entire country. So all we can go off of is the pedigree. What do we see? What can we not miss with our eyes? Does he have touch on the ball? Yes. Is he tall? Yes. Is he big and strong, but not big, where he's going to not be flexible and not be able to deliver the ball? Check. Can he see over the offensive line? Check. Does he have enough physical tools that if we need him to scramble for 7 and slide, can he do that? Absolutely. I feel like a quarterback was available here. He's the guy coming out of college, whether you like some of the other ones or not. That doesn't make you wrong, and I'm not saying you are. I'm simply saying that the press, the pressure, the scouts, they're all saying Fernando Mendoza. I keep hearing that Spanish song in my mind every time I say his name. You remember that song? Fernando. And they're like, I can't sing. Okay, I apologize. It was only one note, but I hear it every time in my ears. Hey, brother, I missed the pick, but my question is, why did we pick up a center when we just signed one of the best a few weeks ago? Well, because I don't think they're ever going to let Jackson Powers Davis or Jackson Powers Jackson, whatever the hell. I always get him mixed up with my former player with the Golden State Warriors, who's now with the Toronto Raptors winning playoff games while his former teammates are going home. But back to the point. Because now you need a backup at center, because obviously we don't think our center is going to get hurt. I mean, he's one of the best in the league. He's in his prime. He's young. He's got at least another 4 to 6 years in front of him where he's going to play at high-level football. But guys like that still do sometimes get hurt. So you got to have a backup now. And since we decided where we want Jackson Powers, we just got to keep him at guard. I think that he's going to be a very good guard. But I think sometimes the NFL and their teams, they fall prey to the college ranks and what they're doing in college. Okay, now, JPJ might have been the greatest, if not one of the best centers when he was playing college football. But he's not really a center because he can't call out the protections. He may be getting better, but when he got to the Raiders, he could not do that. So I'm breaking news for you on this show if you didn't know that. So like and subscribe because I come with it all. And I do it live, not pre-recorded nonsense so no one can argue with me. Which is about 90% of the other shows that cover the Raiders. But I see pedigree in Fernando. And I think he's going to do this. I really do. It's the first time in a long time I'm actually excited. Excited. I don't think AOC is going to have a problem with this. I think AOC is going to be the third man, but he's probably going to ask for a trade. I think that would be smart because you could just go on to the free agent wire and just get some lowly quarterback that, just a warm body to have in the building. And he'll be the number 3. You trade AOC, you probably get a decent pick for next year. You know what I mean? Not anything crazy, but, like I would say a high to mid, probably more mid, 3rd round pick for AOC. He's reliable. The few games he played in, he was pretty good. Now I know he did have a game where he threw 2 interceptions, but he also threw 2 touchdowns in that game. So, figure that out. That to me is more of a reflection on the team, not the player. Eric Bell, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Oh. I love when people in my audience like literally burn me. Tanamoku's like, Bear, dude. That's the song by ABBA. I thought it was Spanish. Hey, look, I know Raider football. That's what my show's about, okay? You want it to be about ABBA? Leave me alone. ABBA was dope. I know I'm showing my age. ABBA was dope. I'm sorry. ABBA was good. You're just going to have to own that. Right now, if I was playing some ABBA, you guys would. Let's see. 38 tonight was a bit for me. I get that. Eric, I do. I get that. It was, I mean, you could honestly say that about all of them except Fernando. And then there are those that are saying about Fernando. But to me, every pick after Fernando was kind of like, okay. Okay. I mean, I didn't understand the Stukes, the safety Stukes. I love everything about that one. I still think it's a reach, but I love everything about that one. He wasn't like a prime guy in school. He didn't go to a lofty place. He didn't have all these, he's the Butkus winner, all these awards. None of that stuff. He just played hard. You know what I mean? Coming out of high school, going looking for a job, he had nothing. No resume. Just hard work. You know what I mean? And he talks about it. That's the other thing I like about him. He doesn't try to hide it. He's saying to you, I'm not like this physically gifted guy. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the strongest. But the guy with the biggest heart, right here. It's like, yeah, okay. Hey, if he can spread a little bit of that in the rest of that locker room, it's all good as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Tana, he can play all along the line. That's why I think, though, they're looking for someone specific to our new center, because that guy, I mean, he's the best guy on our line now. I would argue he's better than Colton Miller. I think he's the best lineman we have right now. And as far as youth, experience, and high-level play, he's a bad man. But he could get hurt. And I don't want to have to put someone back there that's only in, like his second or third season, and he already kind of busted out at center. I don't want to put him back there. Too much pressure. Arnie Garza, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hi, Peggy. What's up, Tim? Shaking my head. I guess my Steelers think Airhead Rodgers will teach Drew Allar, but he is too arrogant to teach anybody. Peggy, I don't know. I don't like Aaron Rodgers either, okay? But I'm still a realist. Okay. And the realist in me says he knows how old he is now. He sees the environment around him. You know what I mean? He's not exactly, I'm not dogging the Steelers. I'm just saying they're not exactly on the verge of a Super Bowl. They had you have some pieces. They looked pretty good, down the stretch, kind of wavered off. Is TJ Watt going to be healthy? Blah, blah, blah. But, I think that he'll respond positively to this. I really do. And the only reason I do is because I think that Aaron Rodgers is just the kind of guy where he calculates getting his street cred or getting accepted by the public again or whatever it may be. He knows how to do that. He's just arrogant enough, like you said, to not do it unless he thinks he has to. In this instance, he'll think he has to. Because if he doesn't really reach out to Drew Allar and show that he wants to help him, that's the press are going to jump all over it. And they'll say, oh, same old Aaron. And he can't afford that, because the moment they say it, that's what's going to be stuck. Once you ring the bell, you can't unhear it. And so once the public hears the press go, oh, look, same old Aaron, it's going to be same old Aaron, no matter what he tries to do for Drew Allar. So I would argue he even has to kind of go out of his way to say, yeah, I really like the kid. We had to sit down and practice. And he understands things, and he understands what he doesn't. And he wants my, knowledge, and he wants me to work with him. And I like the kid. See, now you could say that, even if it's not true, you can say that. But he's a jerk, so we don't expect that. But you'd hope so. Eric Bell said, "I see pedigree in you, Bear." Do you, Bear, think the Raiders would trade some of the players during the draft or after? Maybe during, because remember, one of the moves we did was to move down, but we only really moved down like a handful of spots, and then moved up from our third pick, which was like number 111 or something like that. And now we're at 90, 91, something like that. And so we jumped up quite a few. It helped them, but we made them pay, you know what I mean? We gave them our much lower third-round pick for their much higher third-round pick. Arnie Garza said, question, don't it seem like the Raiders are replacing Wilson Chin, IPM Glaze with these picks after Mendoza? I'm not even sure what that means. IPM Glaze. Write that down for like a boomer to read it. The center we have can play tackle too. Honestly, I love the guy. The move to get him from the Giants was epic. That's what pissed off the Ravens and why they threw the wrench in part into the deal they had with us with Max Crosby, because they were butthurt and they didn't want to lose their number one picks, and they found another deal almost immediately. It was probably a deal they'd already, been talking to the other team about and was just kind of slow walking them, thinking they might keep the deal with us, but if they didn't, then they could go into this other thing, which they did, and they ended up getting Trey Hendrickson for a ham sandwich. They didn't have to give up their first-round picks. Darren Patterson, I love that family picture. Wow, beautiful family. With Thornton and Beach, we have young receivers, but we need a explosive player. I don't know if that's going to be available to us, Darren, unless we do something drastic. And I don't know that we're going to do anything drastic tomorrow. I've been hearing things about that kid Zion. I've heard a lot about him. I've heard them looking at corner, but I haven't heard wide receiver. But that actually may be a good thing because they want people to kind of bait off and think maybe that we're not, throwing the line out there for wide receivers when in reality we probably are. And I'll be honest with you, we will get one. What I'm actually saying is very badly is R8RBEAR is that they will get a wide receiver, but I don't think it'll be one of the higher picks. I think they'll actually go ahead and go down and look in the skill positions for someone that has talent that they can coach up in the position. And I'll be honest with you, and I mean this very seriously. I'm looking right into the camera, okay? Very serious. The draft and the rounds to me have almost become irrelevant because you can find guys in the 5th and 6th round that over the life of their first 4 seasons, if you redraft, they end up in the 1st or 2nd round. And so since we know that, I'm not really as concerned about where our picks are as I am about who we pick at the position that we're at. I don't care how they get there. If they want to trade up, trade down, multiple picks like they did at 36, I got no problem with that. But if you do it, make sure what you're doing benefits the Raiders. It's not a project. I don't want a young 5-foot-tall project out of Stockton, California. So he can come in and get smashed just because he could play Michael Vick like in college. The next Kyler Murray until someone puts him on a stretcher. The NFL is real, okay? I don't want little guys. If you bring a Kyler Murray, he better be Kyler Murray. He better be Michael Vick. He better be Lamar Jackson, because if he's not, he's going to get his head cut off. Because this NFL, just like the NBA and baseball, I would add, is faster now than it's ever been. Have you noticed that? There's statistics that show it. Football, baseball, and basketball are all going faster. So there's technically more wear and tear on players throughout sports. Why do I bring this up for a moment? Just legalize steroids. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, if it doesn't really damage the athlete, right? Like, let's say we do some tests and we find out it doesn't give them cancer and it won't enlarge their prostate and stuff like that that could hurt you. It just makes you bigger. And the price you might pay is pain in your joints when you're older, in your knees and your lower back, things like that, your hips, your shoulders, wherever the case may be. You might deal with things, at an older age. But is that really any different than what older people feel, whether they played football or baseball or not? You know what I mean? I would do it. I would do it if they made it legal and they said, okay, Bear, we're going to give you this physician. He's going to give you a shot. It's going to last for, 2 months. And then you come in, get another one for 2 months, etc. And then we're going to let you cycle down and then you go pee for the NFL. Everything's good because it's legal now. And then you come out and Bob's your uncle. And then we hit you again. And then I get all buff and strong. And I don't get hurt. These guys, they don't get hurt. Now, they do get freakish injuries. Don't forget, remember, Mark McGuire, he had a pinky injury for a while there. Jose Canseco had something like that. I believe it was with his ankle or something like that. but it was like a weird injury that neither one of them really were doing anything. You know what I mean? One of them, I think, slipped in his kitchen, and the other one was just like doing some practice batting. I think that was McGuire, and he just hurt his pinky. Oh, okay. No, that's a great question. Arnie Garza asks, who do you think will be a difference maker, Stooks, Crawford, or Kuhn? Okay, first, I think that it's going to be Stooks, but I think that they're going to motivate each other. And Crawford, I love Stokes, not Stooks, Stokes, the corner we re-signed. I love that guy. I'm telling you right now, if we can get someone on the other side, you will be shocked at what we have in Eric Stokes. Right now, he can't show it because they attack the other side, and then sometimes they attack Stokes with stuff, and he has to play zone and things like that. Stokes can play. He can put it on the ball. He can make interceptions. He can knock the ball down. He can get there before the wide receiver sometimes because of film study. But we have to get something on the other side that he could trust, so he doesn't have to back them up or support them or play back, to try to keep everything in front of him. No, let him and his partner, his teammate, know what's going on and let him get to work. And we have that now at middle linebacker with the two young 25-year-old linebackers that we brought in, played together in Georgia, and now we're going to play together at the Raiders. Instant kismet, instant understanding of each other. So if we get that in the secondary, it's over. And Stooks is the kind of guy, he's going to come in the room and go, hey, guys, I'm going to hit everything. Now, let's get to know each other. But I'm going to hit everything. Everything that moves that's in a color other than black, I'm going to sock it. I love Stooks. I can't wait to see him on the field. I have a feeling by mid-year, I'm going to be in a Stooks jersey. I don't say that very often. Sometimes I've bought them, sometimes I haven't. And I don't always wear them, because you never know where the guy's going to end up. But Stooks, he just feels like he's old school. Go read about Stooks. He is old school. You can tell he's going to honor the Raiders, whether there's honor in the sport anymore or not, with contracts and devious decisions by coaching staffs and owners because you might have got an injury. I love Stooks, man. Stooks is nice. I think Stooks is going to do something for the Raiders. I really do. I see him having the same kind of effect that Fabian Mendoza is going to have once Kirk Cousins lays the red carpet out. And I think he's going to. I think Kirk Cousins and I think our young quarterback are going to kill it. Kubiak's system mirrors things that both of those guys already know. Kubiak was able to send his playbook to Fernando Mendoza super early, way before the draft, knowing once we had the number one pick, there can't be any tampering. So at that point, we immediately sent him the, book. It's probably really a tablet, but they sent him the playbook, and they said he's had it for a while. So he's going to really know this playbook, and it's going to be nice. Naked Raider always busted me in the balls. What time is the Warriors game? Yeah. You got Luka coming off the bench tonight? No? Yeah. What about Reeves? No? Yeah. Me and Naked Raider had to get petty for a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tana, he is a walk-on, and I love that he owns that. And he says, I'm all about hard work. I'm here. And now I'm telling the world you can be here if I can be here, because I had to work my tail off, but I earned what I have. And now I'm going to go show it for the Raiders. And I was just like, ugh. He got me fired up. I love him. He's dope. He didn't say it like all nice. He said it like with adrenaline. You know what I mean? He's ready to go. Would you be disappointed if we don't draft a running back or a wide receiver in this draft? Arnie, I wouldn't be upset about running back. I could care less about that. I think Ashton Genty's going to be good. And more importantly, without sounding insulting, because the NFL has been downgrading the position of running back, but I do feel like we are in an era where, as a team, if you don't have a dominant running back, you really can look in free agency or in making a trade for a running back that's going to get that's going to get you yards. That's going to get you first downs. It's going to get you touchdowns. Now, is he durable? And can he do what, your normal starting back can do? No. But if you use him sparingly, you use him here, you use him there, special plays, things that he could go crazy. That was why I really liked that guy, Abdullah, that we had for a while. He was the perfect back because he was jitter quick. He didn't fumble the ball. And if you needed him to put his head down and rock a guy, he would do it. I loved that guy. He never really got a lot of playing time for us, but when he did, it was impressive. He was a little tiny Marshawn Lynch at heart with speed. I liked him a lot, and I think that Ashton Ginty is going to carry the load, and I think we'll be able to find someone if we don't draft someone in the late rounds. But I think we will. Honestly, I think we will. It's probably going to be. I got a lot of watching shows and calling and talking to friends. I'm getting a lot of feedback on that kid Zion, the defensive end. There's a bird that's saying to me that's who it's going to be for the Raiders' very next pick. Is they're going to go with the big man. Now, I like that personally. I know Joe Holman is jumping up and down because, he prefers the big man. I prefer the big man. And I don't care which side of the ball it is. If they get the biggest, baddest offensive lineman, cool. But if they go get Zion, I'm good with that too. That's a big boy. He can play some D tackle. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see us shut the run down and then really go into the secondary and do what we can do in the secondary. Because with this kid Stokes and our kid Stokes and now Stukes, we still have some pieces from last year and some guys we're going to bring in. But if we could shore up the right side, we're going to have something. I'm telling you. Tana Moku said, is Rodgers even going to play? Tana, I honestly think that Aaron Rodgers wants to have the farewell tour. So he won't tell us he's retiring until the season starts. And then that way he gets all and the clapping and teams will play little videos saying you were great, blah, blah, blah. You know how that is. And he'll get that. He'll like it. And then he can wander off into the sunset of Loserville. Question, who is your best available after the third round? I haven't really sat on that. Probably Jared McCoy out of Tennessee. I'm looking at him now. Also Skylar Bell. That's another one. I'm on the draft ticker right now. Or I just pulled it up. So we'll see. I think though that Raider fans that are worried about whether or not we're going to take a wide receiver, I don't think there's any doubt. What you're going to have to accept right off the bat, though, is it's going to be a third, fourth, or fifth round pick. So it's not a first or a second. It's not a guy that's going to be someone you've heard throughout the year, maybe a little bit, but it's probably going to be someone that they see as upside. You know what I mean? That's going to translate to the NFL. Does he have great speed? Did he have great hands at school? Is he a leaper? That kind of thing. Is he in and out of the shuttle cones fast? We got to look at that from when he went to the combine. They'll look at those things, analyze who they think is the best, and then they'll probably go with that guy. But I would like Jared McCoy because, we do need to keep looking for that guy on the other side. He's got an 88 overall grade. I kind of like that. If he's still on the board, I would take him off the board. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to walk away. I think he's watching what the Steelers are going to do. So in other words, yeah, they may get their quarterback of the future, but now do they get offensive linemen to protect him so the kid can come in? Essentially what we did for our guy, Fernando, by bringing in Kirk Cousins. Let Aaron come back in, but prep, the team, as though it's for him, when in reality it's to hand it off to the kid when they feel like he's got it. Or if Aaron gets hurt again, which I think is more likely. We have to remember that Aaron Rodgers' last serious injury was a no-contact injury. His Achilles just popped. The science for that has gotten better, the surgeries and everything, but that doesn't mean he's still going to be able to go and be like injury-free. We moved back and then up in the third round. Yes. Mark, and honestly, I thought it was smart. It was only a few positions, and yet we made up on the second pick's position. Let's see. Not all first rounders are guaranteed to be superstars. Most of the NFL greats were selected in later rounds. Correct. Sin Raider, what's up? You missed the draft? Well, buckle in, buddy. We're talking about it. Huge upside on the defensive end from Auburn. Michael Ross, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Great profile pick. I agree. I like that we picked up Kwity Paye to be in front of him, just a pro, you know what I mean, that we can let start, but with Kwity Paye understanding, if you don't give us what we need, I got the future right here. So I like that. Stukes is the free safety. Crawford is backup defensive end, and Kuhn may be our right guard. Matt Marinovich, Stukes free safety, get that. Crawford obviously defensive end, and then Kuhn is right guard. I like that though, because we need to get depth. You know what I mean? And with the fact that we signed the best center and then got a center, I like that. I saw an article that said the Raiders might be trying to trade for George Pickens and Brandon Ayuk for receivers. I have heard that too, Joe Holman. So that could actually happen tomorrow, because Dallas, you know how Dallas is. I mean, Dallas is always like that. They trade up, they trade down, they buy, they sell. They're always, though, they make moves. They almost never seem to just sit still. There's always a pick or a day where they do something. And I got to imagine that after we saw them do a move the first day, I can imagine they'll do another. You know what I mean? Especially if they could get picks from us or a pick for George Pickens. I would probably lean towards Pickens as opposed to Brandon Ayuk. I think that Pickens has a little bit greater tool chest. You know what I mean? Like, for example, he can go up for the high ball. Can Brandon Ayuk do that? Yeah, but can he do it like George Pickens? I would guess probably not. I think Pickens, and I'm guessing, forgive me, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think Pickens is the taller guy, and Brandon Ayuk is a little bit more physical. I remember him from the Niner days. He got banged up a lot. Pete V2, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. V24. Grateful to have you, Bear. Real Raider show, real talk. Excited for our new cornerback, right? Honestly, man, I saw. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, no way. Tanamoku Zion got picked up. Okay, so that's off the board. Surratt is still available. We may pick him up early. Yeah, Matt, Surratt was his teammate, wasn't he? I think Surratt, I think that would be wise no matter what round we have to spend on him. Give your new wide receiver someone he's used to. He knows his timing. He knows how he's going to get in and out of his shuttles and so on. Is he going to get his head around quick where he can deliver the ball, or is he going to run the whole time until he gets to a spot and then get his head around? And little things like that you can't teach, he's going to have with that guy already. He knows what his tendencies are. Oh, I remember that. Hayward, he's Ironhead Hayward's kid. I mean, anyone out of that bloodline, I'm good. I used to say the same thing about Polamalu, the famous safety for the Steelers. Shut up, Peggy. I love you, girl. I'm just kidding. But yeah, he every safety that came out of that guy's family was just like a little fire hydrant of muscle and hair, just hitting everything like with no regard for their body. I love guys like that. Bear, I think it's been like 8 years or so I've been on here. I do feel different about this regime. Raiders. Darren Patterson, right on, brother. Honestly, it feels like Mark's getting out of the way like never before. And we have Spy Tech. And I'm not sold on TB12. I'm not sold. I don't know what to say about TB12. I'm not sold. You know what I mean? I think he's an arrogant man baby that needs gratification constantly that, oh, you're so great, Tom. And he's already going crazy, missing it because he tries to come back to the NFL when you're already a part owner and a host of a show. And you want to twist all that up and around, throw it out and say, I'll come back to that later. That's how his voice would sound. And then you're going to come down from the box upstairs from ownership to come down one last time. To do what? To do what? I mean, this might be the stupidest. I'm old. I retired. I feel like I did it too soon. I'm starting to feel better. I think I want to make a comeback. This might be the dumbest story of that nature in the NFL that I've ever seen. Do you not understand? There is nothing you could do, nothing that anyone will give a damn about. R8RBEAR! You know it's true because it came out of my face. And here's the truth. This is just the God's, whoa, this is just the God's honest truth. Putting foots in him. Okay, the human Ken doll whose wife dumped him for a karate instructor. I think I would jump off a low bridge if Mama Bear left me for a karate instructor, okay? The guy's a bum. Teaching fat people and kids how to go, yeah! You lost your wife to that. You butts. But anyway, put foots in him. But he's just such a chump. I mean, think about it. He could come back and win the Super Bowl and everyone would be like, boring. No one would care. Where's he going to go? Is he going to try and do it with us? No. No, you're not coming down from upstairs with us. No. We got Kirk Cousins to keep your monkey ass upstairs in a chair. Go cash checks and shut up. You got a hair out of place there, Tom. There you go. Get out. I mean, you got to be flipping kidding me. Just shut up. Oh, I want to come back. NFL, can I come back? No. You're the GOAT. You're the greatest of all time. And the league you built through the 1990s and so on and 2000s, and they just told you to go home. Go home, Tom. Okay, bar's closed. I don't know if you know he's a drunk, too, in front of his kids, who he's totally irresponsible with. And he had to have his teammates watch his daughter when they won their last Super Bowl with the Bucs because he was fall on his face drunk. Needed 2 players to walk him to a urinal, and it's all on camera. Look it up. It's funny. You bum. But keep cashing those checks, minority owner. A jerk. Didn't get the players I want, however. Raider Devellion, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Didn't get the players I wanted outside of Mendoza. However, I asked for trenches and a ball hawk DB I got. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Stephen Shaw, appreciate the love, brother. Nobody cares about you, Tom. Okay? Nobody cares. Sorry. There's a certain karate instructor that does not care how you feel. Not even a little bit. Tom. He would hate it if I was a beat reporter. He would hate it. I'd be there to ask him every day, every single day. I would have my editor spot me right with wherever he goes. He's coming back. I want to cover it. I'll fly everywhere. You bum. I'm going to put a mic in his face every time and go, hey, Mr. Bum. I have a question. Not really. Just go get ready. I'll write something about you. It'll be more interesting than anything you might say to me anyway. Put butts in you. Darren Patterson. Rings don't mean it all. Don't call that pansy waste the GOAT again. He got nothing on Montana. I don't care. I'm just basically saying that's what they call him. I don't care if that's what they want to do. To me, I'm with you. I'm more of a Montana guy. I really liked Kenny Stabler. Hell, I even liked what Steve Young did behind Joe Montana, coming through up in that offense and then just not skipping a beat and ended up breaking a lot of his records. So Steve Young doesn't get the respect he deserves because he also could run. And I mean run. Ran through guys, had long 30-yard runs for touchdowns. Joe Montana never did that. Maybe in his absolute youth. You know what I mean? Joe was more cerebral, though. He beat you with that arm. He beat you with that step. You know what I mean? He had a rhythm. He looked like he was dancing in the pocket. You know what I mean? Always loose, always on time with the ball. You know what I mean? He would see what was there, and it was decisive. You know what I mean? And I feel that's what Kenny Stabler and Joe Montana, I feel like that's what they had in common. Kenny Stabler, to me, was so decisive. If he saw the play, he made the play. He did not hesitate. He did not think about stats. He didn't wonder if he'll get picked off. He believed in himself and made those plays and made himself into a legend and a Hall of Famer. Okay, let's see. Crawford is going to be a outside linebacker, I'm sure. Has passable coverage skills as well. Reminds me of Mad Max back in college. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Oh, no, you can say it. Hey, this is family in the house. And I'll tell you what, on top of backing you up on that, Raider Devillion, I would say this. I think that we are seeing a new age happen because the guys we've brought in all look like legit dudes. Now, will they pan out that way? We have to see. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. No one does. But I like the pedigree on everyone they picked. Workers, hustlers, guys that were, surprised. Some maybe picked higher than they should have been. Some maybe picked lower than they should have been. Who knows? But you're going to get into the psyche of these guys. They're going to line up and they're going to give it their best for the Raiders. I really believe that. And I feel like if you do that with a player and you motivate him and you give him the tools and you let him cut loose with the tools, they can bring you to anywhere. And I think that's going to happen. I really do. The reason I compared Crawford to Max, all gas, no brakes, has to be scaled back, 32-inch arms too. Well, I got to be honest with you. I kind of knew that about Crawford, that he's got that motor. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to compare him to Max, which you still can. I mean, we obviously know Max is a motor guy. So that's just a compliment to Crawford. But I don't like 255. But then again, Max was small when he came to us. I don't remember exactly what the weight was, but it wasn't 255. So I think he can do this. I think he can grow into the body much like Max did. And if he does, I think he could be a really comparable player. But that's assuming, though, that he's going to get a lot of snaps ahead of Kwity Paye. I'm not ready to accept that. I think Kwity Paye really may step up here and show the kind of pro he is and why the Raiders went and got him relatively quickly for the Raiders front office to make a move like that. I heard the Max Crosby comparisons to Crawford right after we drafted him. Tanamoku, I saw that too. I just wasn't going to go there. But like I said, I know it's respect. There's nothing wrong with saying it. I'm just not going to say it. I think Max is special. I really do. I think Max is special. And I want to see that from Crawford. When I do, I'll say it about him. But until I do, I'm not going to go that far. I don't want to compare him to Max. You're going for the same attitude, the same work. You're going for the same attitude and the same work ethic. But, But I think we'll get that. I think he will have the same attitude. I think he will have that same great work ethic. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. Please like and subscribe, and we will talk more tomorrow about the draft in its entirety. Woo! More players, more rumors, more stuff, bigger show. Trust me. I'm Raiders! See you. R8RBEAR family page. Much love, and I'm out.